So what happens if Donald Trump wins in 2024? Well, Republicans already have a plan for that, and it's called Project 2025. It's a far-right, radical plan to purge and transform the government. Ali Velshi does an excellent job at breaking down exactly what Project 2025 is and what's at stake for our democracy, our freedoms, and our rights.
But the Heritage Foundation and its comprehensive government agenda have become more conservative over the years and more extreme. This year, the Heritage Foundation published the 9th iteration of the Mandate for Leadership. It's called Project 2025, the Conservative Promise. Now, unsurprisingly, it targets LGBTQ rights, equating any talk of gender or sexuality with pornography and pedophilia. Abortion rights, emphasizing the, quote, rights of the unborn. It looks to ban critical race theory and gender ideology and so-called environmental extremism from schools nationwide. And it recommends barring discussions of terms including gender equality, reproductive health, and reproductive rights.
All right, guys. So as many of you know, the Democrats are attempting to bankrupt Trump in multiple ways. Okay, we know that they're coming after his businesses in New York City with the effort led by woke Democrat Attorney General Letitia James. But you also have to look at what's happening with his campaign funds, okay, which Democrats are trying to rig the outcome of the 2024 election by forcing Trump to use campaign funds to defend itself from the political persecutions against him. Okay, so for example, every time one of these Democrats, these states come out here and they try to ban Trump from the ballot, Trump has to spend money in order to try to fight against it. Okay, and he's having to spend these campaign funds to fight his legal battles. And that is an effort that Democrats are engaging in order to make it harder for Trump to campaign against Joe Biden, to spend advertising dollars. And that is why I have to say, thank God for woke influencer leftists, Trump deranged leftists like this individual right here, putting out free advertising for Trump, okay? Because that's exactly what this video is, as this person is going to tell us about Trump's agenda that he's going to enact if he becomes president of the United States. And this person accidentally really makes the best Trump campaign ad ever, okay? I mean, this is totally a backfire, right? This is not what this person thinks that it is, and it's pretty hilarious. So I want to go ahead and get into it, because if leftists continue to make ads like this, Trump doesn't really need to spend any campaign dollars with his own advertising, because leftists can just advertise for him for free. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So we can safely assume that Trump is going to be the Republican nominee for president. Here are the first 15 promises he has made if he is reelected. You may have heard of Project 2025, but this is from Agenda 47, and you can read all of these on his website. First, he promises that he will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in history. He will also ask for the death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking.
Yeah, so again, right off the bat, I'm already sold. Okay, I mean, we do need a large deportation operation. I mean, that's non-negotiable at this point, okay? I mean, we've had over 10 million illegals coming to this country since Joe Biden was elected. And a lot of these illegals are Venezuelan gang members who are already causing chaos and destruction in this country. We have to deport these individuals, okay? I mean, anything less than a massive deportation operation is going to be a failure. In fact, what should happen, okay, what should happen if Republicans end up getting elected, right? If we keep the House, if we win the Senate and Trump is president, Republicans, including Trump, have to be held accountable for getting it done. And anything less than that is a failure. There's no doubt in my mind that Trump is going to attempt to conduct this deportation operation, and maybe, just maybe, some Republicans will try to stand against it, the same way that some Republicans tried to stand against Trump when it came to getting the border wall done, okay? I mean, we already expect for Democrats to be against it. But again, you had Republicans that were against the border wall back when Trump tried to initially get it done, and that's why he struggled to get it done the way it was supposed to be done, is because Republicans stood against him. If that happens, Republicans need to get the same treatment that Democrats are getting right now from their base for Joe Biden's capitulation with Israel when it comes to their self-defense operation in Gaza. regardless of whether or not you agree with it, the right should learn something from the left in regards to how the left bullies the Democrats into getting what they want. Okay, the left has basically showed the Democrats that no, anything less than what we want on this issue, we're going to protest. Okay, we're going to make our voices heard. We're going to make your life very difficult. Okay, and we're talking about being peaceful here, right? And the left is not peaceful, but I recommend that the right be peaceful. I'm just saying we need to take a page out of the far leftist playbook when it comes to how they get Democrats to capitulate to their agenda, right? We got to do the same thing with Republicans. Republicans get in office. If we give them the House, we give them the Senate, we give Trump the presidency, and Trump tries to enact this deportation operation, and you got Republicans standing in the way, they got to get the same treatment that Democrats are getting right now from the pro-Palestinian protesters, because that's the only way you're going to get these politicians to actually do what you want. Look at what Democrats are doing right now. They came out, okay, the far leftists, and they said, hey, we're going to vote uncommitted. We're not voting for Joe Biden. We'll let Trump win, right? We'll let democracy be destroyed, right? This is what they said. We'll let that happen. We don't care about that. You can't use Trump against us to guilt trip us into voting for something that we don't agree with. Republicans got to get the same treatment. I'm so serious, because I'm sick and tired of these Republicans talking tough on the border, okay, when Democrats are in the office, and then when they get in office and they get an opportunity to actually do something about it, they don't do anything, right? Nah, we cannot accept that. We cannot accept anything less than the largest deportation operation in history happening once Trump takes office, if he has the House and the Senate, okay? If we have the means to do it, we can't accept failure, okay? Failure is not an option. We have to get it done. And I don't want to hear about how much it's going to cost, because it ain't going to cost more to deport these illegals than the amount of money we sending over to Ukraine and all these other foreign countries. So I don't want to hear nothing about it. It has to happen, right? It has to happen, okay? I'm just saying. It's up to us to hold these politicians accountable. But this is what we want. The death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking, again, I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. These first two things already have me sold.
He will close the Department of Education and return all education standards to the states to decide.
Hey, I ain't got no problems with that either. I have no issues with that, okay? That's exactly what needs to happen. Now, again, I don't know. You know, in these blue states, okay, these liberal states like California, some of these kids, it's over for them, right? It's completely over for them. They don't have a chance, okay? Because they're going to push the woke agenda down their throats and make sure the kids are dumb as possible, right? But in red states, where, you know, Republicans and conservatives can control the education, hey, at the very least, we won't have the federal government threatening to withhold funds if we don't go along with the woke agenda, which is what the Biden administration is attempting to do, right? They're attempting to withhold federal funds from schools that don't want to go along with his woke agenda, right? So we can't have that, right? Our kids can't read, they can't write, they can't do math. Our SAT scores, our math scores, our reading scores are mediocre on the world stage. Our kids are falling behind, and we can't have that. If we're going to make America great again, we got to make our kids great again. We got to make the people great again. And the way to do that, it starts with education. Okay, so again, we have to have some changes. We need more school choice. We need more privatization. We need more homeschooling. Okay, in the blue states, hey, if their kids fall behind, let them fall behind. But in the red states and the conservative states, hey, we have to make sure our kids are the most educated and talented kids in this country, okay? Because that's how we're going to move this country forward with the conservative agenda in the long term. So, yeah, absolutely we need to do that. We need to return the education standards to the states. Let the red states actually hold our kids to higher standards if they choose to, without being forced to indoctrinate our kids and to push the woke agenda down their throats. And if blue states, they want their kids to fall behind, whatever. I'm tired of trying to save them, right? We can't save some of these people, okay? Some of them just going to have to fall behind, okay? But the whole country can't fall behind blue states. So it is what it is.
He will put prayer back into school, and he will criminalize any race-based advantage programs. He will end the Affordable Care Act. He will ban gender-affirming care for adults and children, and he will ban any federal dollars from going towards gender-affirming care, which means anyone with government-provided health care will no longer be able to access gender-affirming care except for Viagra and Cialis.
Hey, that's lit. That's lit. That sound lit to me. That sound real good to me. Again, this person is selling me. Again, I'm telling you, Trump, you don't even have to spend your campaign funds like that on ads, bro. Just take this video right here, okay? Maybe pay this person a lump sum and say, hey, we're gonna use this, right? We're gonna put this on every television, right? I'm just saying that's what he probably should do. Okay, because this agenda sounds lit right here. This person's really selling it.
Those will still be available. He will propose a constitutional amendment that gives a term limit to Congress.
Exactly. We definitely need that. 100% we need that. And one of the reasons why we need that is because that is one of the ways to drain the swamp, right? If you really want to drain the swamp, you have to get rid of the incentives for corruption, okay? The reason why a lot of stuff doesn't get done in Congress, a lot of things get caught up in politics and, left versus right is because these politicians, they're always trying to get reelected. They're always worried about raising funds, which again, they're worried about that in order to get reelected. And if we had term limits, then a lot of these politicians wouldn't have to worry about that. They could go into Congress and actually do the job the way it's supposed to be done. They're supposed to be working on behalf of the people that they represent. Okay. But again, that doesn't happen because again, these people are just trying to get reelected. They're trying to stay in office forever. Right. So there's no incentive to actually solve problems. But if you don't have that incentive, right, then maybe, just maybe, our politicians would be problem solvers instead of, politicians, okay? Because there's a difference between a politician and a problem solver, right? Politicians don't solve problems. In fact, they make sure that we have as many problems as possible so they can raise money off of it in the campaign. Problem solvers don't care about that because at the end of the day, they're there to solve problems. So we need term limits, 100%. 100% we need term limits, okay? Now again, it's going to be hard to get them on board with it, but hey, it is something that we definitely need to push. We need at least to have legislation. We need to at least have politicians voting on it, right? We need to at least have legislation put on the floor for the politicians to vote on so everybody can see who's for term limits and who's not at the very least. Okay. That's what Kevin McCarthy was supposed to do, but he didn't do it, which is why he's not in the speaker position anymore. Okay.
He will deploy the Department of Justice to investigate the Biden crime family and any of his adversaries or political rivals. He will immediately pardon all of the January 6thers, and he will create a task force to investigate anyone who arrested, charged, or imprisoned a January 6er. He will increase the penalties for underage criminal offenders, strengthen immunity for police officers.
Oh, those two things definitely got to happen, okay? Especially you talking about increase in penalties for teenagers and underage offenders because we have a young scholar problem, right? We have some young scholars that are out of control, okay? These astronauts have lost their minds, okay? They're agents of chaos. I mean, these young scholars, I mean, some of them are straight killers, okay? So some of these young scholars can't be redeemed, okay? And the ones that can't be redeemed, you got to lock them up and throw away the key. It is what it is. People may say, oh, it's controversial, oh, blah, blah. I don't care, bro. We're not cleaning up these cities. We're not cleaning up this country when it comes to crime until we get the criminals off the street, okay? And we have to restore law and order in this country. Again, has become a country of lawlessness, right? So before we actually do anything, we really have to restore law and order. That's the first thing that we need to do. So, 100%, that has to happen. And if Joe Biden was smart, he'd be trying to come up with another crime bill, right? If Crime Bill Joe was in office, he'd probably have a better approval rating. Okay, I'm so serious. I'm so serious right now.
And deploy the National Guard to patrol woke cities. On day one, he will reassess our participation in NATO and says that every European country needs to pay the United States for protection.
Facts. That has to happen, bruh. It has to happen because, again, NATO is supposed to be a defense alliance, okay? AKA the United States military will protect you, okay, under these conditions. One of the conditions that you have to pay, okay? You can't just use our military for free. You can't just not pay and think that we're going to show up and try to defend you if a nuclear nation like Russia invades. No. That's not how it works. You got to pay, right? You need to pay your fair share. Again, it's crazy. Democrats want everybody to pay their fair share except the children of Democrat politicians like Joe Biden, right? So Hunter Biden don't have to pay, okay? And NATO nations, they don't have to pay their fair share, right? But everybody else got to pay their fair share. Again, it's amazing how that works.
He will also restore the wonderful travel ban for Muslims coming to America. He will build freedom cities. This is 10 new cities built on federal land. He will award them to areas with the best development proposals, and he will prioritize moving young families to these freedom cities. He will kill all e-vehicles and e-vehicle legislation, seeking to replace that with the development of a flying car. He believes that we could create a car that vertically takes off. He will remove all of the limits on American natural gas exports and drill baby drill for oil domestically. He will impose a tariff of up to 60% on Chinese imports. He will extend the 2017 tax cuts and drop the corporate tax rate from 21% to 15%. He will push Congress to pass legislation that would give every American the right to concealed carry anywhere at any time. And he will revoke any gun restrictions or legislation that seeks to inhibit people's ability to own guns that's been passed in the last several years. He will demand that Europe pay back all the money we gave Ukraine, and then he will use all of that money to recruit for the American military. And he will take billions and billions of dollars from private university endowments by taxing, fining, and suing the universities. He specifically names Harvard in this one. And then he will use that money to create the American Academy. It is a free online college that will be free of wokeness that he will force employers to recognize as a bachelor's degree equivalent. So that's Agenda 47. So we can safely...
Hey, I'm just saying, this sounds like a great campaign ad to me. Okay, a lot of this stuff that this person named off, hey, I ain't got no problem with it, right? I mean, it has to happen, okay? It's something that we need to have happen, okay? So I'm just saying, if leftists want to come out here and they want to tell us about the Trump agenda, right? And, you know, say that, hey, this is what he's going to do. And if it's like that, hey, I ain't got no problems with it. I think this is great. You're helping save Trump some money, okay? You just exposed his agenda to millions of people who probably didn't know what he wanted to do, okay? So I'm just saying, that sounds good to me. I mean, look at the comment section here, right? Look at the comment section, okay? This person says, I was on the fence, but now I'm definitely voting for him. Thanks. Awesomeness. Loving Agenda 47. Yep, he has my vote. Y'all seen Handmaid's Tale, right? This honestly sounds wonderful. Can't tell if she realized how amazing most of that sounds. Best campaign ad I've ever seen. How does no one understand how great this all is? I fail to see any faults here. I love how you present these as bad things. Oh, man, this is hilarious, okay? Yeah, so she just convinced a lot of people to vote for Trump, okay? So keep it up, right? Keep it up. I don't see anything wrong with this agenda that she claims Trump wants to put forward here. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.